Hon Bamidele Salam. I represent the fantastic people of Ede North, Ede South, Egbedore, and Ejibo Federal Constituency of Osun State. I want to contribute to this debate, Mr. Speaker, by starting off on the note of appreciation. Appreciation on the fact that we had a situation that showed to us, number one, that Nigerians love Nigeria, and Nigerians also love their country. They love Nigeria. The situation we had in South Africa, as unfortunate and pathetic as it was, threw up a platform for Nigerians to show solidarity to their fellow countrymen who are so many thousands of miles away. Across tribal and religious divide, we had Nigerians rising up in unison to condemn the despicable acts of a few South Africans in targeting Nigerians and some other African nationals who are legitimately residing in that country and doing their business there. Number two, Mr. Speaker, is also the fact that the situation allowed Nigerians in South Africa to appreciate their country even the more. I also had the opportunity of watching the video clip of those Nigerians who chose to return back home when they were at the airport in Pretoria and in Johannesburg on their way back home. And as they sang the old national anthem and shouted the name of this country, you could see that these are people who love their country passionately, but who for one reason or the other chose to live in another country, which of course is a legitimate action, a legitimate desire of any man to live anywhere in the world. But Mr. Speaker, I also want to say that this incident calls on us as leaders of this country to ask ourselves pertinent questions about how we can make our country more likable, more livable, and more attractive, especially to our young population. A few days ago, I saw a video clip of a young Nigerian in the United States of America who apparently was losing his mind. One of the several thousands of young people who thought that there are all manner of opportunities in the Western world and who probably sold a fortune of his benefits to travel to that country. I've visited South Africa on 3 occasions, Mr. Speaker, and on each occasion, I could see from my interaction with Nigerians in that country that there are 3 categories of people. Number one are those Nigerians who succeeded in what they were doing in Nigeria and decided to go and replicate that in other parts of the world, doing businesses and establishing their fame in the business they have chosen. Now, naturally, success attracts envy. A particular Nigerian has 17 hotels in highbrow areas in Johannesburg. And because of that, some people felt, well, how could a foreigner come to this country and be doing very well, especially when they cannot do well? The second category, Mr. Speaker, are those Nigerians who are professionals rendering services to humanity through their professional expertise in different sectors of the South African economy. I knew of a lot of Nigerians who are professors, medical doctors, and so many other professionals. But lastly, Mr. Speaker, is also the category of Nigerians who left this country frustrated, assuming that by going to that country, they could make a better living out of their life. Now, this is where the challenge is for us as leaders, to look into those factors which is giving our young people a wrong impression and lack of hope in this country that is ours. We need to, as leaders, devise policies and programs and measures that will allow these young persons to use their talents, their abilities, their academic qualifications for the benefit of Nigerians first. A few of them traveled without having their valid papers, yes, only because they assumed that when they travel, they could have opportunities that they could not get here. That is where the challenge is for us today. As leaders of this country, we need to focus our attention on joblessness. We need to focus our attention on insecurity. We need to focus our attention on those other factors which will make a young man, a young graduate, abandon his qualifications in his country and go to another country to go and play the second-class citizen and live a life that is not worthy of him as a citizen of Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, I know with the kind of leadership that you are giving to this House, you are placed in a position to lead this change. Julius Malema, the young man who was speaking out, whom you commended in your speech, is a young man who probably is in his 40s. A lot of young Nigerians in that age group today do not have opportunities to rise into leadership. What are the factors hampering this? What are the factors hindering this? These are issues which, going forward, I believe we can jointly address and find solutions to. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the mover of this motion for bringing this up. Thank you very much.